Hi guys, happy Tuesday, Dream Team Chat. I'm Alex Erickson and I'm super excited to talk to you tonight about Scentsy Family Reunion. Man, Scentsy Family Reunion is like one of the biggest parties in the Scentsy world, and we haven't been to Scentsy Family Reunion in person since 2019. So it's been a while since we've gotten together and gotten to experience SFR. And so I'm so excited that it's in person. Plans are going forward. It's going to be amazing. And I want to talk to you. Bree wants to talk to you about why you need to try your hardest to make Scentsy Family Reunion possible for you and your business this year. Okay. I'm going to try to paint a picture of what Scentsy Family Reunion looks like, just so you can kind of get an idea of what you're possibly walking into. Okay. It's so much fun. I have been to 3 Scentsy Family Reunions, and I just want to take you back to my first SFR. I was 8 months pregnant. This is in 2017. I was 8 months pregnant with my youngest son. And I was miserable. Okay. First of all, that pregnancy was so hard on me. I was miserable. At this point, I was a superstar consultant in my business, and I went, I earned level 1 of an incentive. So I had registration for free, but I still had to do flights and not flights, transportation. We carpooled with like 4 of us, and then lodging. So we like all bunked together in a hotel, 4 of us in a hotel for my team. And it was just so much fun, even though I was on a budget. Like I think I paid like $150 for my portion of the hotel. And I was super, super pregnant. I remember like being so uncomfortable walking around, but it was the most amazing experience ever. Especially I was maybe a year and some months into my Scentsy business. And so still fairly new, still just kind of getting my grips. And I had so much fun, you guys. So it's about a 4-day event, 3 to 4 days. I think this year it's 3. No, I'm on video. You can't come in here. I'm on video. Sorry, he's in his underwear. Okay, then you go and figure it out. Mommy's on a call. Mom life, you guys, mom life. Okay, Carson, just sit there and be quiet, okay? So it's about a 3 or 4 day event, and it is filled with so much Scentsy spirit that you could ever imagine, you guys. They decorate. So my first one was in Kansas City, Missouri, and they decorated everything in baseball theme. And they had, you're coming into the main downtown area where the convention center is, and they have banners and things on light poles and like little billboards everywhere. Everything is like Scentsyfied, and you go and you have hotel blocks. Scentsy has hotel blocks for you. So we're in like a downtown convention center, and there's hotels everywhere. Scentsy will block out about 2 different hotels. And so you have tons of Scentsy consultants staying right there near the convention center. So you're bumping into consultants left and right. There's fun restaurants everywhere in walking distance. Okay. And so when it's time for SFR day 1, I'm sorry, Carson, please, buddy. I'm so sorry, guys. This is mom life. I'm sweaty. My kids are frustrating. Okay, so day 1 usually is general session. So that's basically where you go in this huge hall. They have music blaring, big screen music. You see the social feed where everyone's posting, and it has everyone's pictures popping up. It's incredible. So you walk in, you find your seat, you sit with your team or your friends that you've made. Okay. You sit and you wait a little bit. The music's blaring, everything's pumping, the excitement is real. And then you will have like Scentsy home office executives come out, introduce SFR, the theme of it, really pep us up. We might have some guest speakers. We might see some sneak peeks of what's to come. And then there's always giveaways, you guys. Like at every general sessions, we get some sort of little giveaway. In the past, they've introduced the pet product line. They've introduced Scentsy Go, fragrance flowers, Jammy Time laundry products, different body products. And then you just get like this Oprah style giveaway where they're just like passing things down the aisle, and you get all these amazing like products and prizes. It is so much fun. Then you hear from motivational speakers, you get to hear keynote speeches. General sessions is really inspiring. It's amazing. It's where you really get touched down to the core at what Scentsy spirit really is. It's where you get to sit in a room with everyone in Scentsy who made it to SFR, and you just get to soak it all in. You get to really dream bigger. You get to hear from other consultants and shining star nominees, and it's just absolutely incredible. There's usually 3 general sessions, okay? So one general session is going to be hearing from home office and a motivational speaker. Another general sessions might be some giveaways and where we learn about new LTOs. And then the last general sessions is usually where they tell us where the next incentive trip is going to be and also where the next SFR is going to be. So it's super exciting. You never want to miss the general sessions. That is really where we get all the information. Carson, stop kicking the table. Stop kicking the table. Okay. Additionally, from general sessions, there is also breakouts. Okay. You can think of breakouts. And if you guys have been to the virtual SFRs over the last 2 years, there are still breakouts where you're kind of pulled into a room and you're taught. Okay. So imagine that Brianna signs up for teaching a breakout. And so she's in her own room and you guys come in and she teaches you guys. That's a breakout. And so the cool thing about breakouts is you usually get to pick your topic. There's maybe like 6 different topics and you get to go to 4 breakouts. So you get to pick, oh, these 4 ones I'm interested in. I want to learn about these. And then so you go and you sit down in a classroom style and you learn one-on-one from other leaders in Scentsy. Okay. So imagine your favorite YouTube Scentsy consultant that you watch and that you get all this training from, or you follow on Instagram or something. Imagine going and sitting down and having a class taught by them, right? On their email system or their new consultant training or their party styles or whatever, right? So that's super fun. Breakouts are amazing. Honestly, that's where I take the most notes. That's where I get most inspired to then go home and try this new system or implement this new task in my business, right? Breakouts to me are one of my favorite parts of SFR because it's like a very intimate, small group session of training content. I really love that. And then also another favorite part of SFR that I just wish I had the full 3 days to do is their expo. Okay. Their expo is basically like a huge room with a million vendor tables set up, and you have a map like of drawings with all the little tables and a key that tells you the topic for all of the expo trainings. And so think of it as like 100 different consultants in there with a table with their resources, sharing something with you. Their party games, their follow-up systems, how they email, how they run reports, how they do shout outs, anything. Also, Amy will be there. The people from Amy will be there, probably the people from Canva. Think of all of these outside vendors that we use. They'll be there to talk about us. Home office will have booths set up to talk about, marketing and Disney and all the different things. Yes, it's like a trade fair where you go to all these tables and you just soak in all the knowledge. I really love this because you are seeing stuff from so many different consultants, like hundreds of different consultants. You are like tangible, being able to flip through their planner, take pictures, scan their QR code, get access to these resources they have, take pictures of the stickers they use. So then you can go home and sift through that knowledge and apply that to your business. And I think that is so cool. Imagine the past SFRs, the virtual ones, all that training content. Imagine that in a room. And you get to walk through and ask questions and listen to a little display presentation. It's amazing. It is absolutely one of the most amazing parts of Scentsy Family Reunion because I have gained so much knowledge through the expo alone, being able to bump shoulders with Jennifer Anderson and Chloe Cox and see what they're doing, what they're talking about. You know, bump into this consultant that I've never heard of before. I never knew who she was, but she is amazing at fundraisers. So I have all these new ideas for fundraisers now. Or walk down here and see this super fun party game. And now I have this amazing party game for my next home party, right? It's just such a fun way to share knowledge with other Scentsy consultants. And I wish I could be there for like the full 3 days, just sifting through every table and taking in all that knowledge. It is so amazing. So that was super fun. They also do an exercise event. That's fun. Hopefully, if you guys are going, hopefully you signed up. It's going to be the Fitness Marshal. If you've ever heard of him, he's on YouTube. He is just a really fun, high energy, like hip hop dancing guy. And he is amazing. He's amazing. We had so much fun last year. We totally rocked that building out so much. Like, it was epic. I'm sure you can even find it on YouTube if you're curious, like what that looks like. It was amazing. Okay. Mariah got pregnant. Oh my God. You're right. We will have a lot of baby mamas and new babies there too at SFR, right? With Brandy going, she'll have her baby, and there's other mamas with babies too. So if you can make it, I absolutely would recommend trying to make it. Okay, guys. Then there is awards night too. I believe that's on the last night. And so things like if you hit shooting star, sensational start, director, 5 years, you will get to walk across the stage or have some form of recognition. I'm not sure what it will look like this year, but that was always, oh, Victoria, that might be cutting it a little close. You're right. Awards night was always something that I looked forward to. I remember at my first SFR, like watching all these consultants walk across the stage and just everyone hyping them up, all of the excitement. And I remember, just like thinking like, it was like an aha moment for me. Like, wow, like I belong here. Like I can do this. Like, these are my people. Because previous to going to SFR, you know, I had a few people on my team and we did Scentsy together, and that was great. But otherwise, it was like my family and my customers, and they love Scentsy and they see me talk about Scentsy, but they aren't working a Scentsy business and they don't see it how I see it. And so previous to me going to SFR, like my love for Scentsy was all I knew. I didn't like know there was just this huge, amazing community. Well, I knew that there was this amazing community. I just never experienced it like that. And so being at SFR, looking around, it was such a moment for me in my business where I recognize that like, this is where I fit. This is where I belong, and that I can do this. And so my hope for you guys is that y'all have that same aha moment at SFR when you're surrounded by your peers and it clicks for you that you belong here, because you do. No matter why you join Scentsy, no matter why you stay for Scentsy, you do belong here. And SFR was such an amazing change in my mindset with Scentsy. It helped me see the longevity of my Scentsy business. It helped me see it crystal clear, because I'm seeing these consultants that I'm learning from, you know, achieve the goals of their dreams. And why couldn't I? Right. And so I remember having that feeling at my first SFR. And I remember seeing that feeling happen in my second and third SFR for other people there too. And it's just a really, really powerful feeling that I don't think anything else can compare to, is being around your Scentsy people in such a capacity. And so if you're on the fence, I highly recommend it. It was a game changer for me. And also what it does is it kind of seals your goals with Scentsy. I feel like when you're there, for me, I'm speaking on my first SFR, going into my first SFR as a superstar consultant, I wasn't sure what was next for me. Like, sure, I wanted to be a director, but I didn't really get it. I didn't really understand why I wanted to be a director so badly. Okay. I didn't have an upline guiding me. I didn't have like an upline that I was looking up to at the time, other than like the training that I was searching on YouTube. But going to SFR and being around all of these people and seeing how cool it was to, you know, be a director or walk the stage, like it sealed that goal in my mind. I knew, okay, like I belong here. I'm going to be a director one day. Maybe one day I'll be a superstar director. but this is where I'm supposed to be. And Elizabeth, they I don't know if they announce who will be walking across the stage ahead of time, but I know that like you do like get notified that you're going to be recognized, and then they say like 5-year people come backstage, and then everyone will kind of go backstage. That's how it's been in the past. And then they put the names as you're walking, but they don't like announce the names. So hopefully that helps. But that is pretty much like the gist of how SFR works. Okay. It's about 3 to 4 days. There is a leadership on that first day. There's a leadership event and a leadership dinner on the 22nd of June. That's when it kicks off. And then the 23rd is when it officially starts for all consultants. And then we'll also have team dinners and connections. You'll meet tons of new friends. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So if you absolutely are on the fence, if you're on the fence, absolutely try to find a way to make it happen. Bunk up with some roommates. My second SFR, I didn't know anyone I was staying with in my room. I had like an acquaintance, but then I was sharing a room with 3 other girls. I had no idea who they were. Okay. But I would still do it again if it meant that was the only way I could get to SFR. So don't be afraid that you might have to have a roommate or that you'll be flying by yourself or anything, because I promise you, you're not alone at a Scentsy event. Okay. Yes. Leadership is for director and up. Correct. Okay, so that is kind of how SFR happens, but Bree's going to go into some details and then why we think that you should go to SFR for your business as a from a leadership standpoint. So I'm gonna hand it off to you, girl.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Talking about SFR literally gets me like so pumped up, because I feel like I feel like it's such a pivotal moment for, like Alex said, people in their business, but also for like Scentsy, right? And I think that after all of this time of not having an in-person SFR, it's going to be wild, the fire that people feel, because so many consultants that are around now have never experienced an in-person SFR. And maybe that's you. Maybe you just joined this year, last year, whatever, and you've never experienced an in-person event. And so it probably, thing like bug, it probably feels so like foreign to have this idea of like a huge party and like all these things going on, because it's been so long since we've made that a norm. But back before the craziness of the world happened, SFR was like the thing that we looked forward to rejuvenating our business. It was where we showed up and really recharged ourselves and aligned our goals and put our heads together and got with community. And there is just such power in making that investment. So I'm surprised Alex didn't tell a story about how she like wasn't going to go to SFR. I think it was Anaheim. She wasn't going to go. And it was like literal last minute that she decided to go. And she was so happy that she did. And she's like, I'm not going to miss anymore after that, because sometimes things, life and all that can get in the way and we forget how powerful it is. But when you show up, I promise, when you go for the first time, when you experience just how the Scentsy culture is and what SFR offers for you as a business owner, as a consultant, even as a person, you're not going to want to miss out. And you're going to wish that SFR was like a monthly thing. Like that's how powerful it is. So, it gets me pumped up, and it kind of gets me like a little bit emotional, because it's been so long since we've had one. I'm like, I'm ready for it. It's so good. So, yeah. So a little bit of the details that I just want to like throw out there. If you got your planner, taking notes, you haven't gone on your workstation, the events tab, all of this is there. I'm not going to go through the entire agenda, because you can see exactly hour by hour what Scentsy has planned for you. And so you can go on there. But basically what you all need to know is June 22nd through the 25th, June 22nd being the night of leadership. So if you are not a director or above, you can still come in on the 22nd, obviously. But there won't be anything Scentsy related for you that night. But then we kick off super early, I think, with the fitness marshal on the 23rd. So we're going to be roaring and ready to go. So I would actually recommend that you get there on the 22nd so that you're there for the fitness marshal if you choose to do that the morning of the 23rd. And then we go straight into general sessions after that. I do know that. So it's the 22nd through the 25th. So a quick trip. I think my first one was like 5 days. And I wasn't a leader at my first one, so I didn't even do leadership. And I think leadership was like 2 days before that. So it was like a really long extended thing. So I'm excited to see what they pump into this 3-4 days. But just trust that it's going to be really amazing. And that you're going to be so excited and you're going to get so much information, but you're also going to be like so exhausted by the end of it. And that's okay. Okay. So schedule some rest. Don't go from like one thing to another right after you get back, because you're going to want to be able to like relax a little bit. But June 22nd through the 25th. Now, y'all, June 23rd is my son's birthday. Okay. He'll be turning 10 this year. Big deal. I won't be here for it. I will be in Salt Lake City. Like, we are going to celebrate after I get back. And it's going to be really special. And I don't put that out there to say miss special things in your life. But I believe, trust, and know that this part of this business is so important that my family understands the sacrifice in some ways that we have to make in order for me to continue pursuing our dreams. So nitty gritty, registration is $300. So if you didn't earn level 1 of the incentive or level 2 of the incentive and choose to take SFR, then the registration, and that's literally just your ticket in, which is a big deal. It's not just, but like it's your ticket into SFR is $300. But there is a payment plan that is available. Since he sets that up for you, you can read all the details. It's not super expensive. It comes out on the 15th. You can literally have it come right out of your commissions if you leave it on your, or if you, no, never mind, ignore that. But what I do is I just take it out of my commissions, right? I leave the money in the card that I put on there and it just comes out of my commissions. And it's just me reinvesting back into my business. It's money that I'm not spending on Scentsy, but instead spending it on my business for SFR. Okay. So the registration is $300. Obviously that does not include your ticket, your plane ticket, driving, gas, whatever. It does not include your hotel, and doesn't include your food, anything like that. I get that that might be hard for people, or that's expensive, or we're talking about a lot of money when you add it all up. And trust me, flights are cray-cray right now. I get it. I get it. And I don't feel like that we've ever been in such a time. I know that it's been expensive before, talking like registration and stuff, but obviously right now with the way the world is, gas is high, so plane tickets are high, and inflation is causing food to go up. And like, just know, you guys, I understand that. Me and Alex both understand that, and Scentsy understands that. There's a lot of people who are saying, I don't know that my family can afford it this year. And I understand. Okay. And while I think that this should be a priority in your business, it's not a priority over putting food on the table for your family or anything like that. Okay. So hear me when I say that do everything you can short of putting your family out to make this happen. Okay. Find ways to, find ways to make it happen if it's possible. But if it's not, like I said, there will be more SFRs. There will be more time for connection. There will be a year to save, a year to plan, because we can kind of count on that it will continue to happen now. So like, short of another thing. So I just want you guys to keep that in the back of your mind and know that me and Alex would never ask for you guys to do anything crazy if it's going to be a detriment to your family. That's not worth it. Okay. But yeah, let's get into the good stuff. Okay. So why do you need to go? I mean, I feel like we've already talked about it, but there are a few details that I want to touch on. Like Alex was talking about during the breakout sessions, where you get to go and sit in a room with consultants who have been asked by home office to present on certain topics and ideas, and they pick like core categories, and probably even more so now with a shortened amount of time, they're going to pick core categories and topics that majority of consultants have questions about or are wanting to learn more about. Okay. So it's not just going to be like some random, like, how do we do grab bags? Like, it's going to be something meaningful for your business that you're going to really want to like dive into and pay attention to. And then same with the expo. The whole purpose of all of that, you guys, is to have the opportunity to be fed into, to gain new perspective, to have new knowledge about things that you're doing in your business, want to do in your business, or have been doing but need a fresh take on, right? That is what this whole thing is about, is coming together in community, and finding new perspective, right? And the community part of it is a huge deal because, like I said, so many new consultants have joined in the last 2 years, have never experienced an in-person event. And that might not seem like a big deal to you, but trust me when I tell you, if you've ever been to, maybe you haven't been to an SFR, but if you've been to a world tour, you can speak to this idea of being together with the Scentsy community and home office and other like-minded people. There's like this electric culture that happens. And I think that it really fires up our souls in way of um, being open to connection and seeing the vision that Scentsy, that Heidi and Orville started this company with, and that home office it's literally their driving factor to what they're doing for us every day. And until you're in person, I don't feel like you have a full grasp on that. And you may be 100% in, and you may say, nope, I trust it. I can feel it. And that's great. But wait till you get in person. There's just nothing like the connection, the culture, being face to face with people, hearing the Scentsy spirit chant, watching the speakers, right? Because Scentsy brings in outside speakers. We've had, what's his name? James Clear. He was a speaker. He was one of my favorites. James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits. They bring in speakers from different walks of life, people who have nothing to do with the Scentsy community. And they even bring in like forms of entertainment. Like we had a magician and like an artist who went on stage and like did this drawing. But the thing is that what it's tying into is either the vision and culture of Scentsy or us as business owners and leaders, right? That's primarily their driving force. And so when we're in a room and we're captivated by what the speaker is talking about, and we feel like they're talking to us directly, like one-on-one, but everybody else in the room feels that exact same way, you guys, it is literally so magical. And you walk away from those moments and it's like you don't even have to say anything to the person next to you or to the stranger you're sitting with a few minutes later in a room, because we all feel it. And it's just that community and that connection that you take with you for the next year or the next 6 months, and it like fuels your business, right? Because it's like a bigger purpose, and your why, your family, whatever you're doing this for should be like at the heart of your business and the reason that you're building good habits and all of that. And 100% invest in that. Find that fire. But when you come to Scentsy events, specifically SFR, and you're fed into by other leaders and other consultants, there's that underlying driving factor that I feel like pushes us through in hard moments, right? Because then when you can lean on other consultants and those connections that you made, and there's this understanding of like, no girl, like we're going to keep moving, we're going to keep doing this. Remember what James Clear said about habits and staying the course, like that connection and that community that you're building when you're at SFR, it literally nothing like it. Nothing like it. Okay. There is just the best way I can describe it is electric. Like it just feels electric to be a part of and to see something that is so much bigger than us, and we don't fully understand it because we're stuck behind screens, or we're just doing team dinners and it's just 12 of us, and that's great. And that's great. We want to do that. But we put ourselves in this box of like, okay, we're just here, tunnel vision, right? But then you get to SFR, and it's a convention center in the middle of this city, and it's just like lines and lines and lines, and this entire convention hall is filled with thousands and thousands of Scentsy consultants chanting Scentsy spirit, and it's like, oh my god, like that's cool. And it's it's powerful, right? So it's electric, yeah, and it's emotional. I'm sure that they'll have some bit of Heidi and Orville there, but man, having Heidi and Orville come on and give their keynotes, and like, I mean, just their kids have done it. I'm sure Dan's gonna give an amazing keynote. I mean, you think Dan is really cool, like on end of month and stuff. Wait till you see him up there. Like me and Alex got to watch him be, I was gonna say knighted. That's not the word. We got to watch him be introduced for the first time and be like told that he was going to become the president of Scentsy. Yeah, the baton was passed to Dan. We got to be at that SFR where that happened. Little did we know, a couple years later, they'd be off in England, and he'd be, like, we had no idea. But it was such a cool moment. And I feel like every SFR has a moment. They like wrap these moments up in this short time frame, and you feel like you're part of history, right? So like my first SFR was in Anaheim, and that's when they announced Disney, their partnership with Disney. And it's like, oh, like look how far we've come. That one was in 2018. Look how far we've come, you guys. Look what Disney has done for our business. And to sit there and go, I was there. We got the first Mickey buddies, the first Mickey and Minnie Scentsy buddies at that SFR. And y'all, the giveaways. I mean, I'm just saying, like, that $300 kind of like helps with that, because you will get stuff while you're there, but there's also the opportunity for giveaways. And we're not just giving away like testers, they're giving away like, you get the first of the first kind of thing. So it's emotional, it's electrifying, it's powerful, it's monumental, it's big deal stuff happening in a small amount of time, surrounded by people who think the way that you do, who see the vision. And the cool thing is that you could literally be sitting next to somebody in the middle of that convention center watching a keynote speaker, and that person turn out to be your accountability partner 2 years from now, or a year from now, 6 months from now. That person could end up being your best friend. Or you could be sitting in that convention center watching directors walk across the stage, and you as a star consultant being like, that's going to be me. Right? And you have that powerful moment of, I see them and I want what they're doing. And you're literally smack dab in the middle of the opportunity to do it. Right? Because all the knowledge that you need to make whatever dreams in Scentsy a reality, you're literally sitting in the epicenter of making it happen. You're literally given all the resources to make it happen right then and there. All you have to do is be invested in it. All you have to do is have a heart wide open and be ready to like take control. Right? Take the notes, listen to the people, talk to the people around you, make new friends. Don't be afraid of going up to a group of people or asking the questions, walking up to Jennifer Anderson and saying hi. Don't be afraid. You can be a little scared. It's a little scary. It can be overwhelming sometimes, right? Walking into the room of like thousands of people, sitting next to a stranger, walking up to Chloe Cox, like those can be scary moments. I get that. But don't let it keep you from chasing after or doing what it takes to have that moment that I guarantee you're going to, at some point, if you go to SFR, at some point, this like moment of, that's what I want. Yep, this is what I'm doing it for. That's going to come over you at some point during SFR. You're going to have that moment. And you're literally going to be so overwhelmed at the idea that you are in the perfect position to make it happen. That's not to say it can't happen anywhere else, you guys. So, like, again, speaking to the people who can't go in person this year, that's okay. Can you do the virtual? Can you make an effort on that end? It can happen anywhere, but you give yourself a really good chance of making it happen and having a head start if you put yourself in a chair in Salt Lake City, Utah this year, and you have a heart wide open. The connection, the culture, the community. It's something that I think I feel like on one hand I could go on and on about it, but on the other hand, it's like I can't describe it. Like, it's really hard. And if you look at our team culture, right, what we have here on True Life, and you're like, this is great. I love this. This feels really good. I love our team. Wait till you are at SFR surrounded by amazing people. Wait till you get part of that culture. Wait till you rub elbows with Chuck Thompson. Wait till you have an opportunity to talk to Dan. Those moments really solidify the culture that we've all built together, or that you're feeling. Going to SFR is not just an investment in your business, but it's an investment in your future. And I know that kind of sounds a little cliche, but it's so true. Because when I sat at SFR, I can't remember if it was Anaheim or it was Anaheim. I sat at SFR in Anaheim next to Alex during the director walk, and she said, next SFR, you're going to be walking that stage. I'm calling it for you. You're going to be a director. And I had my moment. It wasn't until she said that, because I was sitting there in awe, like, oh my gosh, like, first of all, goes on forever, the director walk, because there's so many amazing directors. And so I'm just like in awe. And she says it, and I go, oh my God, yeah. Like, no, I have a year to make it happen. I've got all the tools. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then I promoted to director like a couple months after that. Why? Because I went home, took everything that I learned, sifted through it, applied what I could, and I ran with it. It's literally going to be a game changer in your business. And you're going to look back, if this is your first SFR, you're going to look back at this first SFR and go, that's where it started. That's where it happened, right? Everything that came before this is really great. I'm like, I love it. But SFR, like, you go and you apply and you learn, and it's like game over. The other little part of this that I actually didn't realize, Alex, until you had wrote down, but accountability is huge. It's hugely tied to SFR, but it's also not something that we really think about. Here's the thing. If you didn't earn an incentive, right? So you're not getting SFR paid for in any way, but you're saying to yourself, okay, I'm gonna make this happen. So how do I budget? How do I spend the $300 for registration? What's the payment plan? I gotta book my tickets. You're making a budget as I'm sitting here talking, right? And you're thinking about it, and you make that investment, right? And you show up. There's this like line of accountability that you've now tied yourself to, right? Because when we put our money where our mouth is, we can sit here and say, I'm invested in this business. I'm going to make my dreams happen, blah, 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 blah. But until you invest something that is special to us, I hate to classify money as special, but like that we're attached to, and let's be real, we're all attached to money, okay? We're cautious about where we spend it, or it's the root of a lot of things going on in our lives, and I get it, and it's fine. But let's be real. When we invest our money into something, it ties us to a level of accountability that You may say, I'm going here, I'm going to SFR, and if I'm paying $300, man, I'm gonna milk it for everything it's worth. I'm gonna go to every single breakout. I'm gonna stop at every single table. And I think you should do that, right? Because the thing is that the $300 and the flights and all that, that is a monetary investment. And if that speaks to you louder than anything else, then good, let it be your driving factor. But the investment that you should be putting at the top of the list is the investment in your future, the investment in your business 2 years from now, 5 years from now. But if money is that first little notch in the belt where you say, okay, if I'm gonna spend this $300, it's got to be worth it. You've got to make it worth it. And yeah, you do. Don't spend the $300 to show up, take a spot in a chair and not pay attention, not stop at the expos, not go to the breakouts. We had a girl, wasn't on our team. We had a girl go to an SFR and she would go out at night and then sleep and not go to the breakouts, not go to the general sessions. And I literally was like, why would you come all this way? Why would you invest everything that you've invested to be here and not take it seriously? Don't go and not take yourself seriously, because the loss that you have is literally the loss that you're missing out on in your business, but also money. Like, I believe money is more of a driving factor in a lot of ways. So you're holding yourself accountable. You're tied to this level of accountability when you invest money. And I think that I mean, this thing is expensive, but I think that does speak to the reason, like Scentsy says, yeah, you have to pay. They want people to be held accountable for showing up and taking it seriously. And seriously, we have a lot of fun. Okay. It really is like a huge party, but there are moments where you have to be real with yourself and where you have to say, what am I here for? But then on the other side of it, right? If you're living the Scentsy life, if you're um if you're on social media, if you're talking to your friends and you're doing this Scentsy biz, and you you have a conversation with one of your customers next week and you're like, hey, thank you so much for your order, it means a lot, I'm actually trying to pay for a conference that I'm going to go to this summer with Scentsy, and it's my first one and I'm so excited about it. And oh man, you're drawing lines of accountability with your customers, right? With your friends, with your family. You go tell your spouse tonight, we got to make this happen. Will you keep me accountable on our budget? Can we make this happen? Right? And whether your spouse is in or he's out, or she's in, she's out, whatever, when you say, I'm going to do this, and you go and you show up, there's that line of accountability. There's that, okay, I didn't just go to a team dinner and show up and it didn't cost me much. No, you're literally driving, flying, staying multiple nights away from your family, spending time with strangers. There's people that you're saying, I have to be accountable for my actions here, right? Because of the sacrifice that's being made in other areas of my life. Because if I'm going to spend 3 nights away from my family, you better bet it's going to be worth it, right? I have to hold myself accountable. But to your customers, to your friends, to your family, when you get on that plane, when you go to Scentsy Family Reunion, when you are sitting there and you're taking a really cool video of the entire room and it's filled with thousands of Scentsy consultants, 2 things are going to happen. 1, you're going to be surprised at the moment that you look around and you recognize that everybody in that room is accountable to each other for the same opportunity to make their Scentsy dreams, goals, whatever, come true. And then the other part of it is that when you share it on social media and you're talking about it and you're so excited, your customers, your friends, your family, all of a sudden are going to have this idea because they recognize, they see the sacrifice. They're thinking, oh man, that probably wasn't free. Oh, she's spending days away from her family. Oh, she's learning, she's going to trainings. And now all of a sudden your customers, friends, family are looking back and going, wow, okay. I'm so glad that I support you because you're taking it seriously. You must really love what you do. They're seeing that. And you can show that in a lot of different ways, you guys. But there's just one lane of investment in your business that speaks really loudly. And it's called investing money and time away from your everyday to pursue more, right? Now, if you've hit your milestones and you say, I'm good, more power to you, right? More power to you. But at the end of the day, you guys, the accountability that matters is the one that you hold yourself to. And like I said, if it's money that's that driving factor, if it's the dreams that you've promised, if it's that sticky note that keeps staring at you in the face, if it's that vision board, if it's the gas tank that's on E, like if whatever it is, the accountability that holds the strongest should be the one that you make to yourself, the one that holds you up, right? And if this business is going to be the vessel that gets you to wherever you want to go in life, then you have to invest in it. And to me, Scentsy Family Reunion hits at top of that list, right? Because this is literally where leaders are born. And you've heard me and Alex say that before. Leaders are born at events. Why? Because it takes that level of accountability. It takes that training. It takes that community. It takes being there, being present to make it happen. Even if you're a director right now, you're a leader. If you're a lead consultant, you're a leader, right? But there's a difference in a title and actually being, right? And that's not saying that if you're a director, you're not a leader or you're not acting like one. No, hear me. There is a difference and there is a way that we can pursue in a different way when you show up for your business and you learn, right? We should always be hungry for knowledge. We should always be hungry for more. We should never say we have arrived at the amount of knowledge I need to be a good leader or to be a good Scentsy consultant or whatever. I don't feel like I'm ever going to arrive there. I'm a superstar director and I don't feel like I've arrived. I feel like I've hit the highest title in the Scentsy company, but I have a long ways to go before I do what I'm doing, right? And my dreams are just going to keep getting bigger. And so in leadership, I feel like that there's never that moment of you've arrived, but when you step into committing to the process and these events, you're growing and you're being reborn into who you're meant to be as a Scentsy consultant, as a leader, as a sponsor, right? And each time I go, I learn something new about myself. I learned something new about my business. And I got to tell you, I can't put a price on that. Like I would pay this price double. And that's just me. But to me, this business is not, if you're looking at it going, oh, it's just wax and warmers, like I don't really understand it, you're not seeing the full picture, right? Because we have a personal growth opportunity here. And if you step into this thinking we're just learning about how to sell more wax, you are mistaken. And in the best possible way. And I beg of you to just show up and find out. Like if you're skeptical, I dare you to show up and find out. And if you walk away and you're like, nope, it's just all about wax and warmer. I'd be hard pressed not to give you a personal refund. Like, because I've never had anybody walk away from SFR and be like, that wasn't worth it to me. Never have I heard that. There will be people who can't do it for many reasons, and I'm not here to judge that. I'm not here to tally it, nothing. And I'm not here to make people feel guilty about it either. So please understand that that is not the angle that I'm coming in. But I do have to promise you something. And I do have to be honest with you in saying that if you show up and invest in these moments, these opportunities, these events, I promise you, if you do it with a heart open and ready to learn, it'll be worth the investment that you make, time, money, otherwise, tenfold. You'll make it all back. You can make more money, but the time spent here is going to be worth it. Yeah, like Alex said, double dog dare you. So now you can't. Now you can't say no. But yeah, that's where I land with SFR, and I got super passionate about it, y'all, because it truly is like, it's hard to be like life changing, but it's literally business changing, and it can be life changing, right? Because you could be taking up that seat as a director today and be a superstar director, or take up that seat as a director come June, and then next year be a superstar director or in the circle of excellence. And I mean, it's just, you just never know, but you have to show up. So I am hoping, praying, wishing that everybody has an opportunity to show up this year, next year, whenever you can make it happen, and just know that there will always be a seat for you. And I cannot wait. So excited.